Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Naraka, the Undying. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got warning, don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. Savage Crucible, a piece of tape there. Naraka, the Undying, and some of that artwork from the front there really blown up. Then we get around to the front, and I know it's hard to see because it's glossy and the lights are shining right on it, but it's got this nice artwork here. Savage Crucible says at the bottom. On the bottom, warning, attention, advertencia, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Harvinger Studios, there's their address if you want to write them a letter, or you can go to savagecrucible.com. And made in China print right there, along with a barcode. On this side, Naraka, the Undying, and an embossed wax imprint there. It's not really wax, it's just embossed on the box. And I still, I've looked at what these symbols mean. I don't remember it. I need a printout at some point so I can get with all that. There's the artwork from the front, exploded again. Savage Crucible. I say exploded, blown up, as in made larger, and it says Savage Crucible. Finally, moving around to the back, against ruthless forces and powerful dark acolytes, forge your metal and test your might, survive, conquer, collect, Savage Crucible. And then here we have a cross sale of Jaeger, Nashorn the Disinherited, Krieger the Shunned, and Who-Man. Who-Man? Bonus inside, blind bag item. Harvinger Studios. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. No! Wait, there's more. Because this flap right here opens up. And there we've got some lore on Naraka. And if you want to read that, pause it right here and read it. And then pause it right here and read the rest of it. And it's got some nice artwork in the back. This is all on a scroll with some skulls on the end of the posts, or rolls, or whatever they call them, I don't know. And then a nice big window showcasing most of the figure and his accessories, and Savage Crucible. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories, and let's start with the blind bags, and we'll start with the black blind bag, which you cannot see through this sucker, I guarantee you. And let's see what we got going on here. It's that big old four-handed sword, and I think it's exactly the same as the one I got with Brynjar Veil. Colors and everything. Looks the same to me. There may be some differences I'm just missing, but it seems the same. So at the pommel we got this nice skull with some translucent plastic in it, or the whole thing's probably translucent plastic with paint on it. I don't know exactly how they do it. Nice spikes at at the very end of the pommel. Nice big long handle there. Nice wide hand guards. And then as you go down the blade, it's pitted, it's scarred, it's nicked, and where it's broken in places, you can see where that translucent plastic is, which I'm assuming is like a magical glow within the sword. But very, very nice. I mean, look at all that detail in there. And the sword is longer than Naraka is tall. So that's a pretty big. In the gold bag, which we're getting these now instead of the cards, I guess, because Brynjar or Naraka, either one had a card in it and they had these instead. So that's fine with me. I'd rather try to collect accessories than those cards. And this one has an amulet in it of some kind. And there is lore to support this. It's on savagecrucible.com under the lore section. And it's really nice. Nice gold look to it. And then it's got a jewel piece of some kind in the middle, I guess. It's just molded plastic with some paint on it, though. It's not like a jewel piece, like there's a diamond or something in there. Nice gold chain for it as well. So very cool, very cool. And then next up here we have Naraka's face mask. It's a partial face mask. And it does have nice molded details on it. And it might have a bit of dry brush on there as well. So that's really cool. And next up we have handy dandy tweezers, so we can take a look at the extra sets of hands. He's got 2 extra sets of hands. And the first set is like clawing, grasping kind of hands on an in and out hinge. We've seen these before. I want to say Nashorn comes with a set of these. And then in some of the, like the Raider pack and that stuff too, there's some extra hands. And I want to say one of those packs at least had these in them. So very nice. Nice molded details and colors and everything. Not really any paint apps on it, doesn't look like. And then the other 2 sets, or the other 2 hands, the other set of hands, are grip hands on in and out hinges. And again, nice molded details. And there's a left one and a right one. So pretty nice. Options are always preferred. Now let's take a look at his weapons. Here's, I guess this is his fire sword, and it looks like a 2-hander. And look at the pommel down there. Just, it's molded nicely. It's decoed nicely. I mean, the whole thing is decoed nicely. Look at that nice scully sword, or scully part at the handguard. And nice paint apps there. And then you get to the blade, and it's a translucent glossy plastic with some gold paint over the designs. It's really, really striking looking, in my opinion. Here's his other sword, which I'm calling the ice sword. So he's got fire and ice. And this particular mold I know we've seen before several times. This time it's molded in a clear plastic, and it's got, I guess it's a dry brush or a wash over it to kind of give it that icy look. And then the handguard is cool, and the wrap on the handle, and then the pommel, very spiky. And then the last accessory, he comes with a helmeted head, which again, we have seen this piece before. And I want to say last time it was in gold. But I like this piece. It's a really creepy kind of helmet. And it's got nice molded details in it. It might have, I think it's got a little bit of a wash on it as well. Or maybe it's an overspray. And there's rivets. So very cool and kind of scary, creepy looking piece. Now let's take a look at Naraka. And wow, that face. And there's like a clear plastic insert here for one of his eyes. And I'll say it's clear, it's translucent, and it's like red. I think it's red. So there is that. And then look at all this like decaying detail and paint or deco hits. It's very, very cool. And I mean, there's just deco all over the head. Dry brushes or wash or just to help all this detail stand out. And it's kind of crazy looking. Then here we've got some big shoulder armor, which I think comes from Nashorn. It's where we normally, or where we originally saw it. And it's on those longer pegs, and it can be moved around some. And then he's got the ones that peg into the back of the arms here. And then I want to say Nashorn's armor, but definitely not the same paint apps. And that's even these and these. I mean, it's got kind of a pearlescent or glossy finish to it, and it's really kind of cool. Well, it is cool, and it's kind of striking. And we've got, you know, just shiny paint, glossy paint here, and on these metal bits here, and around the belt, and the butt flap, and the belt proper. And I want to say this, yeah, this piece is a pin-in piece. Then he's got this, which I don't remember having seen this particular sheath before, so I think this may be new for Mr. Undying over here. And then, you know, he's got some paint app or deco hits contouring the muscles to make them stand out. And wow, it's just, he's fantastic looking. And then, you know, some leathery details in the sheath along with these gold deco hits. And then very ornate shin armor and Nashorn feet. And it's got some silver right here where the tongue for the between the toes goes. And it's just very, it's really cool. I really like the look of this guy. He is not a good guy. You can look at him and tell. So let's put these shoulder armor pieces down here for a minute. And let's take a look at his articulation at the head. He looks up that far, which isn't a lot. He looks down much better. He's got some chicken neck. He's got plenty of waggle. He definitely can do the full exorcist, lift this armor piece up, and there is a forward butterfly at the shoulders, and it goes forward that far. And then at the shoulder it also rotates 360 degrees, and when this bends up out of the way, which I don't recommend leaving it like that much, without bending it too much, the arm doesn't quite make it 90 degrees, but you can take this piece off and I'm sure it would get more. Now at the top of the elbow here, I think there's a post that runs up to the shoulder, because the bicep piece here is a separate piece that moves independently of the shoulder and of the elbow. But it will rotate 360 degrees along with the arm. So there is that. It does rotate there. Double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you about that much bend. And then at the wrist, 360 degrees of rotation, and it's on an up and down hinge, and the other side is an up and down hinge as well. There is two pieces on the torso which you can't see because of the armor. There's a cut here like at the chest and then at the waist. So working in conjunction, those pieces let him lean back that far. They let him, hey, legs straighten up. They let him lean forward this far. The actual figure will do more than this, but this overlay is preventing it. And then there you can see the top cut there. So it also gives him plenty of hula. He can lean left and right. And let's see what kind of rotation he gets. It's tight, but at the waist he does do a 360 degree rotation, and it's on a ball joint or half dumbbell, whatever you want to call it, same as in here at the chest, although the chest doesn't get that same range as the waist does. Let's see, where are we at the hips. He can give you that much of the splits. It'll probably go a little bit more, but the overlay's kind of hindering it just a little bit. It does ride up when you make him do the splits, so just something to be aware of. Kicking forward almost 90 degrees. It's very close. It could actually be 90 degrees, but like I said, I don't think it's quite 90 degrees. Backwards about 3/4 of his own foot length. Where the thigh and the hip joint meet, there is rotation there, 360 degrees worth of it. And then at the knee, it's double jointed pinless, and it gives you that much bend. So that's nice. And let's see, just below the knee, yes, there's a boot cut just below the knee, although he's not really wearing a boot. But we're going to call it a boot cut anyway. And it's not really a cut, it's just where the lower leg pins into the knee. So, and then 360 degrees of rotation just above the ankle where it pins into the lower leg. And then at the ankle, lots of detents in there. Tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and then it does have a pin for rocker. Now, of course, to use the helmeted head, you would have to remove this head. And I don't know, maybe there's some instances where you could do that. But as far as his mask goes, it goes over the rotten part of his face, or the rotting part of his face. And you just kind of pull that strap down on there until it fits on there good. So that's how that looks. So that's really cool. That eye's much shinier in there. Maybe it's just catching the light though. I'll say it's shinier. And then like the extra piece, like the amulet, you can put it around his neck, and it'll give him whatever magical ability that this amulet provides, which again, you can look up all that stuff in the lore section at Savage Crucible. And then let's see, his sheath, let's see, this one fits in there pretty good. And then this one also fits in there pretty good. It actually looks like this one is more for this one. He's got lots of nice little holes in his belt for his sheath, so you could put extra accessories on them that have the pins on them. And then as far as the other sword goes, one in the sheath, one in the hand. And now, of course, he doesn't want to stand up. And it's not because of weak ankles, I can guarantee you that. There you have it, my friends. I'll look at the figure, his accessories, and I guess some storage. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucibles Naraka, the Undying. With Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Nashorn, the Disinherited. Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Veteris Rapax. And Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Shield of Dazera. Here we have Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Naraka, the Undying. With the Four Horsemen Studios' Mythic Legions, Legendary Barbarian. Boss Fight Studios' Epic Hacks, Red Sonja. And X-Ray Studios' Combatants Fight for Glory, Gold Hilder. For our last set of comparisons, here we have Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Naraka, the Undying. With from the Marvel Legends series, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on Harvinger Studios' Savage Crucible Naraka, the Undying. And I don't know why I rolled the R on Naraka, but it just sounds cooler that way, I guess. But my final ramblings on this guy is the decos are great. The swords are beautiful. And I just really, really dig the overall look of this guy. Now, if I had to pick something that maybe isn't as good as I would like it to be, his mask, when you're trying to pose him out when he's got the mask on, it can be a little finicky. So just be aware of that. It's not really a real issue. It's just something to be aware of. So if you're posing him out for, you know, your display or photography or what have you, whatever reason you might have for posing your figure, just playing with it. Just something to be aware of, that the mask can be a little bit finicky when you're adjusting things. I love the clear plastic of the swords. The ice one looks like ice, and the fire one looks fiery. Although there's not a lot of flame, you know, licking out of the sword shape. There's a little bit like right at the where the blade and the handguard meet, but that's really about it. So no real flames leaping out of it, so it's still cool as all get out. And you know, I would hate to see this guy coming at me, and the head sculpt and the deco for that is phenomenal. it really, that side of his face really looks like it's decaying. The sculpt of the rest of the face, it kind of gives that the skin is sucking in some on the rest of the face, like a corpse would do. And that one eye that has the translucent insert in it is it's creepy as all get out. And so just this is not a good guy. And let's see, I'll kind of skim over the lore. Let's see, he was cursed. His whole family lineage is cursed, and your line will never rest. Death is not a release, it simply resets the curse. So this guy, he stays around for a long time and can take a lot of damage, and then he dies, and somebody else in his family gets cursed with this curse of looking like this dude. So, but I really dig this figure, and the more I get into Savage Crucible, the more that I'm really enjoying it, and I can see where the improvements in the line are being made, especially those detents in the ankles, because that was one of my very first figure that, and I think it's the first Savage Crucible that I reviewed here a few years back. That was one of my major issues with it, was the knees, not the knees. The ankles were not really supporting the figure, but they fixed those feet, and the feet that they didn't replace in the packaging, they're sending the new feet with it so you can swap them out. But I think for the most part they've gotten, I mean, there was one that already had the feet on it, and I didn't get the toe tilt feet, and that's fine, because those feet, they're just not supportive of the figure, and that's a real shame, because now we've lost that articulation point for these guys. But in the long run, I think it's an okay thing, and that's fine. So you don't have to worry about that with this guy. He comes with the proper feet, and again, lots of little strong detents in those ankles. I don't know if you could hear him when I was moving him around or not, but trust me, they're in there, and they're strong. So, phenomenal looking figure. Doesn't seem to have any issues standing up. I don't think that's an issue with this line anymore, for the most part. Sometimes you can put too much stuff on them and they'll become unbalanced, but that's on you, not the figure. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's our wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.